India has struck Pakistan 2 weeks after the Pahalgam attack, 2 weeks after 26 innocent lives were taken. India has delivered justice to the victims. Pahalgam was the deadliest attack on Indian soil since 26/11, and today India has responded with force, precision and purpose. The strike happened at 1:44 a.m. Indian Standard Time. That's when the Indian Armed Forces launched Operation Sindoor. This is a defining moment, a historic strike. All three services of the Indian Armed Forces were mobilized. The Army, the Navy and the Air Force. All were involved. Together they destroyed 9 targets in Pakistan. All of them along the line of control, which is the de facto border between India and Pakistan. Each target, each of the 9 targets was chosen carefully. 5 were located in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir and 4 were deep inside Pakistan. Muzaffarabad was struck twice, followed by Kotli, Gulpur, Bhimber, Sialkot, Muridke and Bahawalpur. These are the 9 sites that were attacked. No civilian sites in Pakistan were hit. No military bases were touched. India targeted only the terror camps, the hubs of cross-border terrorism based in Pakistan, like Muridke. This is the headquarters of the Lashkar-e-Taiba. Muridke is home to Hafiz Saeed, the mastermind of the 26/11 Mumbai attacks. He is a UN-designated terrorist, and he is behind the Pahalgam attack too. Hafiz Saeed leads a group called Lashkar-e-Taiba. It is a parent body of the Resistance Front, TRF, the Resistance Front, and this front carried out the Pahalgam Terror Attack. This explains the strike on Muridke, the headquarters of the Lashkar-e-Taiba. Similarly, striking Bahawalpur was significant. It is in the Punjab province of Pakistan and a stronghold of Jaish-e-Mohammad. This outfit is run by Masood Azhar. Again, he is a UN-designated terrorist. More than 30 years ago, he was arrested in India for terror activities, but had to be released after the Kandahar hijacking of an Indian Airlines flight. Then we come to the strikes in Sialkot and Kotli. They were aimed at camps of Hizbul Mujahideen. All 9 strikes were carried out from Indian soil. At no point did the Indian forces cross the line of control. Yet every target was hit with precision. The government of India has released a statement to describe the operation as, and I'm quoting, focused, measured and non-escalatory in nature. The statement stressed on India's cautious approach as well as its clear intent. It mentions how India did not target Pakistan's military. Only the terrorist sites were hit. In fact, let me quote from the official statement of India. The Indian Armed Forces launched Operation Sindoor, hitting terrorist infrastructure in Pakistan and Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir, from where terrorist attacks against India have been planned and directed. Altogether, 9 sites have been targeted. Our actions have been focused, measured and non-escalatory in nature. No Pakistani military facilities have been targeted. India has demonstrated considerable restraint. India has demonstrated considerable restraint in selection of targets and method of execution. These steps come in the wake of the barbaric Pahalgam terrorist attack in which 25 Indians and 1 Nepali citizen were murdered. We are living up to the commitment that those responsible for this attack will be held accountable. This is what the Indian official statement on the strike says. Also significant is how India went about this operation. All key allies were kept informed. India's National Security Advisor Ajit Doval took the lead here. He reached out to India's strategic partners. Among them was the United States. They briefed the US Secretary of State Marco Rubio, that is basically the American Foreign Minister. Ajit Doval briefed him after the operation. And that perhaps explains why Rubio was among the first world leaders to issue a statement on the Indian strike. We also heard from the US President since, Donald Trump. He spoke last night, and he called on both sides to reduce tensions. Reports say 4 countries were briefed, 4 other countries apart from the US. That's Russia, Saudi Arabia, the UK and the UAE. They were briefed about this operation. Now let's look at the response from Pakistan. What is Pakistan saying? It has threatened retaliation. Pakistan's Prime Minister issued a statement, that's Shehbaz Sharif. He called the Indian strikes an act of war. And he threatened to, quote-unquote, respond forcefully. I must add here that Pakistan's version of events is riddled with misinformation and falsehoods. Islamabad claims that civilians were targeted by India, that it has shot down 5 Indian jets inside the Indian airspace. This claim has no basis. Pakistan also claims that it brought down a drone, again unsubstantiated. Despite this narrative war, India is exercising caution. International airlines are now diverting routes. They're avoiding Pakistani airspace. In India, flight operations have been affected in the north. The Srinagar airport has suspended all civilian flights for now. The airfield is shut and precautionary measures are in place. Schools in 5 border districts of Jammu have been closed. India is staying alert and on guard. Such an attack does not happen overnight. It has to be planned meticulously. All bases must be covered, all services must be united, and all eventualities must be considered. So let's take a deep dive into India's Operation Sindoor. How was this operation planned? How was it carried out? And what weapons were used? The ball was set rolling by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He met the 3 defense chiefs last week. In that meeting, he gave a clear message. The armed forces have complete freedom. They can decide when, how, and where to attack. After that, the defense chiefs got to work. In subsequent meetings, they offered options to Prime Minister Modi, and the goal was clear. India had to re-establish deterrence. Officials felt the effect of the 2019 Sialkot strikes had worn off, hence the daring attack on Pahalgam this month. So another strike had to be carried out by India. Now we come to the operation. They're calling it Operation Sindoor. This is a very expansive military campaign. Like we've been telling you, a total of 9 sites were hit, some in Pakistan and some in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. These locations were selected by India's intelligence agencies. All of them were chosen for a specific reason. The most important site that India struck was Bahawalpur. It's a city in Pakistan's Punjab. It is right across Rajasthan's Thar Desert. This city, Bahawalpur, is a stronghold of the Jaish-e-Mohammad, a terror group led by Masood Azhar. Azhar was born in Bahawalpur in 1968. He runs training and radicalization camps in the city. Some of the other targets were in PoK, that is Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. Again, all home to terrorist camps. The operation was reportedly led by the National Security Advisor of India, that's Mr. Ajit Doval. He set up a special team to oversee this operation. Only a small group was aware of the attack. Once it was completed, the Prime Minister was briefed about it. Which brings us to the attack itself. And this is the most significant part. Reports say India did not enter Pakistani airspace, meaning the projectiles were all fired from India. And this is a key difference from 2019. During Sialkot, Indian jets crossed into Pakistan. They dropped bombs on Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province. But this time it was different. As for the weapons, we do not have confirmation yet. We will have to wait for the army's briefing. But some reports say that loitering munitions were used. Now, these are basically suicide drones. They carry warheads and hover over the target area. And once locked on, this drone crashes into the site. It's basically a suicide drone. That is how India reportedly mounted this attack. Again, this is a very significant operation. It is India's deadliest strike on Pakistan since the 1971 war. And yet it wasn't excessive. India made it clear that only terrorists were targeted, not Pakistani civilians, not even Pakistani soldiers, only Pakistani terrorists. Plus, the strikes used precision weapons. The idea was to hit the targets using pinpoint accuracy. So New Delhi's message is pretty clear. We will hit back, but we will do so responsibly. Of course, the ball is now in Pakistan's court. Let's see if they recklessly climb this ladder of escalation or whether they choose restraint. Like I said, what happens next depends on Pakistan, but one thing is quite clear. India is not waiting to find out. India is preparing for all eventualities. This morning, a nationwide civil defense drill kicked off. We told you about this yesterday, this mock drill that India was going to conduct, the first of its kind since the 1971 India-Pakistan war. The first time this drill is happening since 1971. It will be held across 244 districts in the country. We have 800 districts in India. 244 of them will see this mock drill. How are these districts selected? Each one is chosen for a number of reasons. Their proximity to the border with Pakistan, their strategic importance, their population density, and vulnerability along the coastline. These are all the factors that helped the authorities decide where to conduct the mock drill. 244 districts across India. The drill will simulate air raids, mass evacuations, bunker safety protocols, and training civilians to respond to worst-case scenarios. This is the aim, and there are 5 key measures. Number 1, civilians will be trained in basic survival tactics, like crawling under furniture or even finding shelter in basements. Number 2, air raid sirens will be tested nationwide. This is to warn civilians of incoming attacks. Number 3, blackout protocols. That means no lights. The idea is to make it harder for enemy jets to locate targets. Number 4, camouflaging critical infrastructure like power plants and military installations to make sure that the enemy does not target them. It is to throw off enemy targeting systems in case of an actual strike. You have to safeguard your key infrastructure. And number 5, updating and rehearsing evacuation plans. This is very important. Who goes where, how quick the response is, and how the resources are allocated. All of this has to be planned. Leading the charge is the National Disaster Response Force of India and State Disaster Response Fund. Now remember, India is not a country that is used to frequent wars. So there are very few dedicated bunkers in our country, and we are a big country. 1.4 billion people. So makeshift shelters will have to be set up, like subways, basements, underground parking lots. This is all part of the preparation. There is no need to panic. It's best to be prepared for all scenarios. The Indian Air Force will also hold major border drills, and that starts today. This includes Rafale, Mirage 2000, and Sukhoi 30 jets. They will all be part of the drill of the Air Force. All of India's air defense units are also on high alert. Now, I know these are mock drills, but they're designed to mirror real wartime scenarios. And they come with a warning. So take them very seriously. Cooperate fully with authorities, and please stay alert. The last time this happened, India headed to war. Now India has struck terror sites in Pakistan. We may or may not be heading down that road again of a full-blown war, but readiness is no longer optional. These are dangerous times, not just at the border, but also on the internet. There's a flood of fake news online. Pakistani accounts are pushing old and doctored videos. Their agenda is to demoralize the Indian military, to spread panic in India. We'll try to bust some of those fake videos. There's a lot of fake news that is doing the rounds. Here's one such post by a senior Pakistani journalist. It shows a mangled fighter jet on the ground and the claim that it was shot down by Pakistan this morning. That is the claim that they're making. In reality, this is a picture from 2021. It shows a MiG plane that crashed in India's Punjab. No dogfight, no Pakistani hand. This is fake. Let's show you one more fake post. This time by China's CGTN. We are talking about Beijing's state-run media outlet, CGTN. They posted pictures of a fireball. And this is the claim that they're making, that Pakistan shot down Indian jets. Just one problem though, this picture is at least 3 weeks old. It was being peddled by Pakistani accounts towards the end of April. Back then it was supposed to be the line of control. Now it has become a crashed Indian jet. We say, make up your mind, Pakistan. The third example is also that of a supposed jet crash. It shows a plane bursting into flames. Again, this is an old video. It dates back to a MiG crash in September 2024. Some of these videos are being used to make other claims too. that 15 locations inside India were hit. That's the claim they've made. 15 locations hit in India. The Srinagar Air Base was targeted, that the Indian Army office was, one of the offices of the Indian Army was destroyed. All of it is fake news. This is part of Pakistan's psychological warfare. Their ministers are also part of this effort. They're going on foreign channels and they're all making false claims. Sometimes they say 5 Indian jets were shot down. Sometimes they say only 3 were shot down. But none of these claims make sense. Pakistan themselves admit that India did not enter their airspace. So how were these Indian jets supposedly shot down? It simply does not add up. In the coming days, we need to double check what we see online. Use only trusted sources. Do not rely on random X accounts or WhatsApp forwards. And most importantly, do not amplify what you see. People have pointed out a new trend on social media. Pakistani users are pretending to be Indians on X and Instagram. These accounts may display the Indian flag. Their names may resemble those of Indian veterans. But these are propaganda accounts. Do not trust them blindly. Same for news agencies with an agenda. We just showed you an example of China CGTN. Their coverage will be colored by their politics and their agenda. So vigilance is the name of the game.
देखना वाम कैसे आ रही है वहां से अभी वीडियो कैच हो गई नहीं होगी ये नुकसान ये 9 नंबर
The strategy and the effect of India's actions will be discussed in the coming days, and we'll get more details in the next few hours as well. But these strikes were also about justice. Justice and closure for families of those killed in Pahalgam. Remember, 26 civilians were shot in cold blood, 25 Indian citizens, 1 Nepali citizen. They were killed. Those memories will haunt their families forever. Some of them have reacted to today's strike, like the daughter of Santosh Jagdale. He was one of the victims in Pahalgam. Listen to what his daughter had to say.
ये नाम पढ़ के तो हम बहुत रो रहे थे सुबह, और मुझे लगता है कि जो हमारे मेरे पिताजी का या फिर जितने भी उधर बच्चे थे उन सबके पिताजी और जितनी भी औरतें थे उनके पतियों का जो मतलब जान ली गई, तो उनका ये मरण जो था वो वेस्ट नहीं हुआ। और मुझे लगता है ये उनके लिए आज सच में दी गई एक श्रद्धांजलि है जो भारत ने एयर स्ट्राइक करके की है।
Shubham Dwivedi was another victim. The terrorists asked him whether he was Hindu or Muslim before shooting him dead. Shubham's father praised the Indian Army's action. His wife also thanked the government for the strike.
2 बजे से लगातार देख रहा हूं और मैं सलाम करता हूं अपने देश की सेना को और धन्यवाद अर्पित करता हूं अपने देश के माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी को, जिन्होंने देश की 140 करोड़ जनता के मन की बात को समझा, दिल के दर्द को समझा, उसके दर्द को समझा, उसके गुस्सा को समझा, और जिस तरह हमारी सशक्त सेनाओं ने अदम्य साहस और शौर्य के साथ पाकिस्तान में पल रहे आतंकवाद का विनाश करने का काम किया है, उसके लिए मैं सलाम करता हूं, मैं धन्यवाद अर्पित करता हूं हमारे देश की सरकार को।
धन्यवाद करती हूँ, उनसे बहुत थैंक यू कहती हूँ कि उन्होंने मेरे पति की मौत का बदला लिया है। जिस तरीके से हमारे पूरे परिवार को उन पे विश्वास था, उन्होंने उसी तरीके से जवाब देके हमारे विश्वास को कायम रखा है। एंड आई एम रियली थैंकफुल।
I'm sure it's a difficult time for the families, but we were waiting for some sort of action from India, and it has come today. 9 sites in Pakistan were struck overnight, 9 terror camps, 9 cities that are bases for terrorists in Pakistan, struck by Indian forces from Indian soil without crossing into Pakistani airspace. This is an evolving story. We are expecting a briefing, an official briefing shortly. We saw the markets open in the red, but they have since recovered. Both the Nifty and the Sensex are in the green, which shows some confidence on the part of investors. possibly hoping that this will not escalate into a full-blown conflict. All eyes on Pakistan, of course, to see how they respond to this. The world is watching. We're getting reactions from all over the world, and we're monitoring developments. I want to repeat what we started with, that there is a lot of fake news doing the rounds. Do not trust that. Verify your sources. Do not amplify unverified information, and stick to trusted sources of information. It is a time to be prepared, to be ready, but not to panic. We are tracking this for you here on Firstpost. Do stay with us.